welcome to the C.S. Joseph Podcast. I'm your host, Samwise, and today's Acolyte question is, should INTPs master PUA? Let's find out. For those of you that might not know what PUA is, PUA stands for Pickup Artists. Should they be masters at pickup artists? Well, short answer is no. So, first of all, what would make an INTP think that they should become pickup artists? Well, in particular, it has to do with just being a crusader male in the way that masculinity is desired at this day and age. We have beta traits by default due to our general nature. Provisioning, protecting, and just parental investment. And those things are great, and especially with an evolutionary context. Because right now we're in a time where women do not need men with beta traits. Humans have evolved so that they can have beta traits for the sake of the survival of the human race. So beta traits actually used to be more attractive than alpha traits. That's kind of where you see we still have it to an extent these days, but back then, it didn't matter if you were a pretty boy or not. It was just like, that person's wealthy, that person will provide grandchildren. I ship them. Fast forward to the modern era, women now are able to provide for their own beta traits, so those are not as desired in men anymore. Provisioning, women can make their own money and have their own jobs. I mean, there's still room for, the pay pig system, but I don't fancy that one either. Protection, milady doesn't need protection from a man. It's, society provides them with the protection that they need. Local police and security cameras and all that kind of stuff. And, parental investment, society is now a child support system instead of a child rearing system. With child support, men don't need to be involved as much, which is unfortunate. All this is adding up to women no longer are attracted to beta traits in men because they can provide them for themselves. And opposites attract, that kind of idea. By 2030, 50% of working age women will be alone and childless. And as a dude that wants kids, that's rough. And it doesn't help being an INTP either because, it's hard for us to get laid. It's due to several factors within our cognitive functions just not adding up well. We have FE inferior, so we have a fear of not being accepted. And that can turn us away from taking risks, which, hey, that risk aversion, that's anti-critic, as well as extroverted sensing trickster, lacking in dominant demeanor, which I can assure you, I don't assert dominance, I assert submission, so yeah, that's just, my stat sheet isn't looking pleasant. And quite frankly, if you're an INTP, yours really aren't either. Like most men, INTPs turn to pickup arts for help. Pickup books, from Mystery to Neil Strauss. Those used to be the gold standard for being a pickup artist. But in more recent times, we have The Rational Male, which I have right on my table. Looks like a Bible because it sort of is. But, The Rational Male and the Manosphere are now the gold standards within the community for pickup arting, but, it's not perfected yet. We can get to, a platinum rank once we get, Jungian analytical psychology involved. That'll be, really good. But the unfortunate truth is, pickup arts are really only for extroverted sensors. Let's dive further. Extroverted sensing performance. Cold approach pickups are for extrovert sensors because it's about setting up a performance. And it's all about putting on a show, which, as much as I would love to believe I'm good at putting on a show, no. And even then, it's not a reliable thing for, extrovert sensing tricksters or really any introvert sensor because, the energy fades behind it because we have to go to a different side of the mind in order to perform. And the performance wanes, the show's over, and oh, she's gone. Bye. So, extrovert sensing is a short-term strategy. Now, it's not to say that they don't have their uses entirely. I mean, you might be able to get some short-term relationships, you might be able to get a one-night stand, but it's a short-term strategy. The stuff lacks substance. But what if you want a long-term relationship that you can build a foundation off of? Well, as an SI user, I've got news for you. But before I get into that, ego hacking by text. We have an upcoming course. It'll be available on Black Friday. The course teaches you how to type people via their text, their emails, or any written system that they have. You know, a little bit of a note from a boss instructing you, hey, this is how you put stuff in Amazon boxes. We got that too. The course also teaches you how to social engineer via text messages. You know, rephrase your words so that certain cognitive functions just click. Yep. So, if that sounds interesting, we'll have our pre-order starting this week for a huge one-time discount. Alright, back to the show. Okay, SI users, are you ready for your pickup arting alternative? HAD, Human Attraction Dynamics. It's a far superior form for picking up women as an SI user. SI users have extrovert intuition, which means with SI effort put into the right things over time, they become more magnetic and thus more attractive to women. We become desirable. And, you know, we become desirable to those that we're actually compatible with. So, basically, human attraction dynamics is just be a good person. And just a reminder for the 8 sexual compatibilities for you as an INTP, the affection relationship, or the golden pair, that's what's the ENTJ, the companion, or the pedagogue, that's the ENFJ, the natural, or the bronze pair, that's the ESFP, the intrigue, which is based with the ESTP, the respect relationship, or the silver pair, I have a video on that if you want to look more into that. That's with the INTJ, the truth relationship, or the benefactor relationship, that's with the INFJ, refinement, the ISFP, or kindred, the ISTP. Since SI users have to put way more work into themselves as men compared to SE users who have just masculine traits naturally, SI users in the long run become more attractive than extroverted sensors. Which means women would way more often initiate with SI and E users instead of an SE user, which is awesome. So part of the picking up chicks is you don't even have to walk over and get them. They just come to you. You know, assuming that you put the effort into what you're doing and that you're desirable, you know, they come to you, and it's like awesome. Because SI users, when we have no life experience and we go for women, yeah, we come off as cringy and creepy. Trust me. I try to forget. But that's okay, because it's life experience. So a summary of human attractive dynamics is be an interesting person, actually. So the conclusion, INTP should avoid pickup arting at all costs. Not to say that I don't recommend the rational male, because I think it has a lot of good dynamics, like how soulmate is a myth, but as far as like, you know, trying to use the tactics of, I'm going to perform this and that to attract a woman, yeah, no, stop, please stop. And you know, and INTP men, what you should be doing is building the treasure within yourself. Because most women you're compatible with are wayfarer women. And, you know, they're treasure hunters. They want to go deep into the sea that is you and be like, some doubloons, awesome. So that could literally mean make money, actual doubloons, but, you know, having a six-pack helps, just being generally fit. I mean, I've lost about 40 pounds since June. You know, this vest used to not fit me, but, well, actually it barely fit, but now I've got like quite a bit of room and it fits pretty good. You know, having a lot of friends, that helps a lot. You know, generally because, you know, when you're in a group with someone else, that brings attention to you, because naturally you're just going to be in the background, so having friends definitely helps. I'm very glad I can mooch off my ESTP brother. And having hobbies and exploring more, you know, that could be a craft. Like right now I'm doing metal casting, which I wish it was going better, but hey, if it was easy, everyone would be doing it. You know, that could be like doing coaching, just something interesting that makes you fascinating, that you can talk about, because as an SI user, you need to be telling stories. fascinating ones at that. But to be a high value man as an INTP, or an SI user in general, but especially as an INTP, you need to leverage human attraction dynamics. It is the key because, quite frankly, pickup arting for you is not going to do well for you. But if you want some books that aren't pickup arting oriented for extrovert sensors, I recommend Dr. Robert Glover. Man, I love this book so much. No More Mr. Nice Guy. It's going to help you out a lot. It really helped me out with changing my perspective. Like, next book you read, it's got to be this if you haven't read it yet. But Dating Essentials for Men is also a really good book by him. Highly recommend that. Alright. I'm going to head out. Thank you guys so much for watching. Take care.